Funding for Shaperillis is provided by Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Honestly, out of all the videos I made in the past year, the one I had the most fun with was probably my Mario Kart character ranking. Mario Kart is just really fun to talk about, what can I say? Plus, that video exceeded my expectations in terms of views, so you know what? Let's just talk about more Mario Kart. I figured the next logical step would be to rank some Mario Kart courses, but I don't think I have the energy to do them all in one video. So how about we go game by game? I'll make an individual ranking video for each Mario Kart game. And by the time I'm done covering the first 7, 8 Deluxe will probably have all of its DLC out. And then I can rank all 96 of those courses in one video. Woo, how fun! I regret this already. Anywho, I could start with the first game, Super Mario Kart, but literally no one would click on that. Are you seriously gonna tell me with a straight face that you genuinely care about whether or not I would rank Donut Plains 2 over Donut Plains 3? Yeah, fuck that shit. We're starting with Mario Kart Wii, my first Mario Kart that I grew up with. The most popular one, aside from the one that still refuses to die after almost a decade.
I thought you were dead.
My death was greatly exaggerated.
Say what you will about Mario Kart Wii's unbalanced bikes and unbalanced items and unbalanced Funky Kong, but I don't think anyone can argue that Mario Kart Wii didn't have some banger tracks to race on. So many iconic courses that have become huge staples of the Mario Kart franchise. But which ones are the cream of the crop? And which ones are fucking GBA Shy Guy Beach? Let's find out right now.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Wow, it's GBA Shy Guy Beach. There it is. As a kid, I didn't mind this course too much because, I don't know, cool beach level is cute. But then I sat down to play it for this video and holy shit, this course is horrible. The little round islands you have to hop between in order to not slow down are awkward. The trick ramps are tiny and unsatisfying. The cannonballs that landed on the course can be pretty unfair when they come out of nowhere. And on top of that, the course is ugly. Super Circuit is a pretty good looking sprite-based game, but its visuals have not been translated over well to Wii's engine. What with the choppy water and stale backgrounds, there is actually no reason to ever pick this course. Aside from the pretty music, it offers nothing but a headache.
Yoshi. It's a double Yoshi explosion.
One of my favorite things to look at with each new Mario Kart is what I like to call the priority retro courses. As in, the courses from the previous game that the developers considered a priority to bring back as soon as possible. For Mario Kart Wii, these would be the retro courses from Mario Kart DS. That game certainly had a stellar lineup of tracks to pick from. So aren't you glad that one of the developers' priorities was to bring back Yoshi Falls? This is honestly such an insulting filler pick when you think of all the masterpieces DS gave us that could have been brought over to a home console and gifted to the masses who got into this series through Wii. I could have been growing up with Airship Fortress, Tick-Tock Clock, Luigi's Mansion, motherfucking Waluigi Pinball. But no, Yoshi Falls just had to be one of their first choices to return. I haven't even talked about the course itself yet, but like, what the f do you want me to say? Drive in an oval 3 times. Make some turns designed for babies. This is pitifully simple by Mario Kart 64 standards. But by the standards of DS, it's a true embarrassment. So short and boring that it ended up being the last Yoshi-themed course in the series. No, seriously, there has not been another Yoshi-themed course since this one. It's kind of hilarious, actually. Anyway, those 2 courses are bad and D tiers, but thankfully, we're on to the mediocre ones now. The C tiers. Let's see which ones are next. Do you get it? Because the letter C sounds like the word C. Get it?
Do you yield?
I don't like N64 Sherbert Lands. Never have. The slippery ice physics annoy me, and aside from this cave section, it looks visually repetitive, with the whole track just being this huge chunk of ice. Dodging and yielding to the penguins can be kind of fun, and the music's pretty, but overall, it's such a bland and uneventful ice level that I'm never excited to play on. Not much else to say, it's just pretty lame. It was in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games though, so that's pretty epic.
That's Mama Luigi to you, Mario!
I don't think it's a spoiler or an unpopular opinion to say that the retro courses in Wii aren't nearly as good as the brand new ones. Nintendo didn't really hit their stride with remastering old courses until 7 and especially 8. So I don't think it comes as a shock that my bottom 3 has entirely been some of the retros. With that said, out of the 16 brand new Nitro courses made specifically for Wii, which one of those is the worst one? It's Luigi Circuit, obviously. Perfectly acceptable as a first course, but unless this is literally your first time playing the game, there's no reason whatsoever to pick this one outside of the giant statue of Luigi that has a random Mii face on it if you're playing as a Mii. That's pretty much the best feature exclusive to Wii, honestly. I love the courses that did this, but sadly, that's pretty much all this course has. Put a little respect on Luigi's name next time, guys.
Do the Marios!
As of the time I'm writing this, we've only gotten the first 2 waves of the Mario Kart 8 DLC, which means that the current worst course in the entire game is SNES Mario Circuit 3 for how ugly and boring it is compared to the far better remastered base game courses. Luckily for Mario Circuit 3, the bar for retro courses is much lower in Wii, which means that here, it's only the 5th worst course in the game. It's a perfectly inoffensive little throwback. Not terrible, but not impressive. And certainly not anything I ever really want to pick. I also find it really weird as a Lightning Cup course. Not only does it drag down an otherwise really excellent cup, but it's also not nearly difficult or special enough to justify being this far in the track selection list. I mean, Ghost Valley 2, a Shell Cup course, at least had the courtesy to put a boost and a jump pad right before the finish line, while Mario Circuit 3 just has the boost. That seems wrong somehow that they're in the order that they are. Also, fun fact, this course is tied with SNES Rainbow Road for being the most recurring course in the entire series, appearing 5 different times in Super, Super Circuit, Wii, Tour, and 8 Deluxe. Call me crazy, but I don't really see the appeal. Well, anyway, let's move on.
Swing your arms from side to side.
N64 Mario Raceway. A circuit by any other name would play just as blandly. There really isn't a whole lot to say about this one. It's a Mario Circuit track with all the usual Mario Circuit trappings. Grass, trees, a pipe. Wow, I'm so impressed. Cutting corners with mushrooms in this one can be pretty fun, but for the most part, I just forget this course exists.
Come on, it's time to go do the Mario!
I swear, I did not plan for 3 Mario circuits to be lined up like this. It's just a reflection of how mediocre and samey this Mario Kart archetype has always been. 3 generations of acceptable but kinda boring Mario circuits, lined up in a row for your racing pleasure? Question mark? At least there's a cool chain shop. Plus, this course is the location of my favorite YouTube video, Mario Says SpongeBob by Vector Chaotix 1. Doesn't it sound like he says SpongeBob? Discuss. Seriously, discuss it, because there's nothing else to discuss about this course. I guess it's nice that there's such a long straightaway so you can see firsthand just how broken bikes and their wheelies are compared to karts. Yeah, I got nothing else.
Boo! Haunted house.
Gee, it's kinda spooky.
Bring a light?
No.
SNES Ghost Valley 2 may have a simple layout, but I like its ghostly atmosphere. I don't know, there wasn't a whole lot to work with Super Mario Kart in terms of unique themes, so aside from Rainbow Road, this was probably one of the best choices to bring back. Not a great course, but I don't hate racing on it, so that's nice, I guess.
That's called cow tipping.
It feels a bit mean to rank Moo Moo Meadows so low, but in all honesty, this is a course that didn't really hit its stride until the Mario Kart 8 remake. Musically, visually, and layout-wise, the original is just kinda whatever. A perfectly fine little mushroom cup course that doesn't stick out too much. But I'm never unhappy to play on it. It's pretty fun to dodge cows in the road. Plus, it's cool how this really does feel like a natural evolution of N64 Moo Moo Farm. It's nice, it's cute, it was in Mario and Sonic at the London 2012 Olympic Games for some reason. It's Moo Moo Meadows.
I made it! I walked across the desert, man!
Honestly, my friend talked me into ranking DS Desert Hills higher than I initially wanted to. I usually don't like desert courses much at all. Plus, much like Yoshi Falls, this is another example of a priority course that just makes zero sense. When presented with all these bangers in DS's Nitro course selection, why in the name of God's green earth would you ever willingly choose to bring back Desert Hills immediately? This seems like the kind of course you'd only bring back after you've exhausted all other options. But nope, here it is right away. it's fine, I guess. There's a decent variety of obstacles and scenery, plus this windy part towards the end is pretty fun to traverse. It's overall a perfectly okay course, which for a desert track is a fucking miracle. Anyway, that's all the C tiers. Now let's move on to the B tiers. The tracks that are pretty good, actually. GBA Bowser Castle 3. Not Bowser's Castle 3. No. He doesn't own this one. It's just inexplicably themed around him. Anyway, this is easily the best of the SNES/GBA offerings in this game. The trick ramps are still as pitifully small as the ones in Shy Guy Beach, and they don't feel super fun to use. But otherwise, this course is pretty solid. Lots of sharp turns, thwomps to dodge, and a very cool, sinister, and oppressive atmosphere with good backgrounds and music to boot. At the end of the day, yeah, it's still a flat GBA course, but it manages to be solidly fun in spite of that.
To the dry southern sands.
What do you know? It's another desert course. But this one's good, I swear. Dry Ruins is the developers taking a look at Double Dash's Dry Desert and saying, what if we tried this again, but didn't make it boring this time? Lo and behold, a pretty neat course where you traverse through a pyramid with the help of some random half-pipes. I like how the center of the pyramid slowly fills with sand as the laps progress. It doesn't make a huge difference gameplay-wise, but it is a neat detail. Also, Yoshi Sphinx. That's a really good thing. I like that. All in all, let this be a lesson. If you're planning on making a desert course, either put something cool in it, like a pyramid or a train, or else don't bother. Looking at you, Bone Dry Dunes, you piece of shit.
Like Mario and Princess Peach.
GameCube Peach Beach. My mom always liked playing on this one when I was younger, but for some reason she always thought it was called Pebble Beach. I mean, it probably does have a lot of pebbles on it, so that's valid, I guess. Anyway, it's wild how the Shell Cup just peaks at the very beginning with this course, before instantly dissolving into mediocrity. This course being so good and a starter for what is traditionally the lamest cup in every Mario Kart game is the reason I'm not very forgiving to Yoshi Falls or Mario Raceway. But yeah, overall a lovely little course that offers branching paths, delightful music, nice visuals, and the final canonical appearance of the Cataquacks. No, seriously, to this day, Mario Kart Wii is the last time they ever appeared in a video game. Nintendo, what the fuck did you do to them? Where the fuck are the Cataquacks? Please, for the love of God, Nintendo, tell me what the fuck happened to the Cataquacks right now! N64 DK's Jungle Parkway is a nice, windy, and satisfying jungle course. It's pretty solid with a good theme, though the big ramp is a little lame nowadays. Not just because it's prime glider material if this course was remade in 7 or 8, but because you actually had slight control where you landed in the N64 original, which is just completely gone from the Wii version. You just land where it makes you land, which is fine, not a huge deal or anything. Just kinda meh. The narrow bridge at the end is really cool though. It's definitely fun to leave some bananas or shells there to whack other players with. And I like the temple at the end too. My brother and I had a headcanon that this temple was a shrine to the Great Banana, which is just some sort of giant mystical banana we completely made up in our heads. And then 3 years later, Mario Kart 7 comes out, we play DK Jungle, and holy shit, the Great Banana! The Great Banana is real!
Can we get much higher?
Oh, great! Another Mario
Circuit?
I genuinely couldn't tell you what it is about the GameCube Mario circuit that I actually enjoy, especially in comparison to the other 3 Mario circuits I kinda trashed. I really don't know. This one just has more of a spark to it, I guess. More charm than the other ones. Between the chain chomp, piranha plants, tunnel, bumps in the road you can trick off of, and that last bridge where you gotta stick to the center to avoid the plants eating your ass, it's just got a lot of nice variety to it. Plus, the scenery and music just feel so whimsical and magical, like you're at the Mario equivalent of Disney World or something. Yeah, I absolutely, positively do not know why, but this one just does it for me. It might be my favorite Mario circuit in the whole series. I think as a whole, Double Dash just really nailed the circuit tracks in a way most other games in the series didn't. But that's a story for another video.
It is a volcanic planet.
Half of my friends hate Grumble Volcano for some reason, and I've never been able to understand why. They turned hell into a Mario Kart course. That's extremely cool. Between the multiple branching paths, fiery obstacles, and parts of the track itself sinking into the lava as the laps progress, it's just an incredibly solid, intense course, and the perfect way to cap off the Star Cup. Plus, while it definitely hit its stride visually in 8, the original absolutely still holds up, even when something like the original Moo Moo Meadows doesn't. It's a really good track, and I will personally fight each and every Grumble Volcano hater to defend its glory. And with that, all the B tiers are done and we're halfway through the list. Yes, Mario Kart Wii's track selection is so good that literally half of them are A tier and above. Before we get to some truly glorious race courses, why don't we take a quick detour to Battle Mode. I hate Battle Mode. Is it cause the maps are bad? No, not at all. The 10 maps available to duke it out on are mostly really great. In fact, let's rank all of them right now. Number 10, GBA Battle Course 3. This one takes the L, or rather 4 of them, because the L-shaped obstacles are super annoying and constantly get in your way when you're trying to make it back to the center. Aside from those, there's nothing going on in this map. It fucking sucks, don't pick it. Number 9, GameCube Cookie Land. Visually cute, but so tiny and cramped. Maneuvering on this one is incredibly annoying and unfun. Number 8, SNES Battle Course 4. Already the maps are starting to get good. The sheer number of lanes you can go through in this one makes for some pretty satisfying methods of outwitting your opponents. Number 7, Chain Chomp Wheel. A cool underwater casino atmosphere. And it's fun to dodge the chain chomp and trick off the big ramp in the middle. Number 6, N64 Skyscraper. Doing tricks to quickly switch between parts of the area is satisfying. And it's way harder to fall off compared to the original, which is nice because the focus is where it should be. On killing each other. Number 5, Thwomp Desert. Tricking off the shockwaves this Thwomp gives off is incredibly fun, and overall it's just super hectic and enjoyable. Number 4, DS Twilight House. I love maneuvering through the different rooms and the aesthetic is on point. It's just a shame DS only had one battle course music track, and it's hilariously unfitting for this map. Number 3, Block Plaza. Good evolution of Block Fort with tons of statues that can have funny me heads on them. Plus it gets more precarious as it goes along since the structures sink and more cliffs form. I like that. Number 2, Delfino Pier. Avoiding the rising water that instantly kills you and getting to explore a whole new area halfway through before it gets flooded. Such great mechanics. Because of underwater driving, this course wouldn't be the same if it was brought back nowadays, but for the time, it was a super neat idea and extremely fun to battle on. Number 1, Funky Stadium. The opening alone cements this as an all-time classic. Plus, there's so many ramps, half-pipes, tunnels, and wide open areas that all come together to make something that fully lives up to the name Funky Kong. Incredible, exciting, and funky as hell, it's easily the best battle map in the game. So yeah, clearly the maps aren't the problem since there's 8 really strong ones out of 10. So why is this mode so bad? Because they force you to play it in teams with computer players. Your performance does not matter if your AI teammates drop the ball. Plus, you're locked to a time limit of 3 minutes. You can't make it longer, shorter, or remove it entirely. What could have been one of the series' best battle modes got completely fucked over by the rule set it forces upon you. And what's worse, none of the Wii battle courses ever returned in 7 or 8 Deluxe, games with actual good battle modes. Funky Stadium is currently locked to this piece of shit awful mode. This makes me so mad that I'm gonna talk about Squarespace to calm myself down. Squarespace is a fantastic, intuitive, online website builder that allows you to create beautiful websites for your business or personal hobby. Present your work using Squarespace's professional portfolio designs. Display projects in customizable galleries and add password-protected pages to share private works with clients. You can even present your videos from YouTube, Vimeo, and Animoto on your Squarespace site. Add an image overlay to your video to improve your website's load speed by waiting to embed video players until playback starts. Every design automatically includes a unique mobile presence that matches the overall style of your website, so your content will look great on every device, every time. And if you don't want that, you can always disable the mobile view from Website Manager. Buying a domain from Squarespace is so simple because there are no hidden fees or price hikes. Each domain comes with an ad-free parking page and free WHOIS privacy on eligible domains. Squarespace sells over 200 top-level domains, so you can find the perfect name for your website. Choose a URL that ends in .com, .net, .org, or you can always get a more specific one like .art if you want to be fancy. If you're ready to share your passions or promote your business with the rest of the world, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/ShapeForAList to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Dear Mario.
Finally, a priority course I can get behind. DS Peach Gardens isn't the craziest course out there, but it is so pleasant and endearing with a deceptively large amount of shortcuts and alternate paths to be found. It feels like you never take the exact same path on each lap because of all the hedges to weave in and out of and chomps to avoid. I guess it could be a little prettier since the colors are kind of washed out. Like, seriously, forget the 8 version looking better. The DS version looks better than the Wii iteration somehow. But that's my only real gripe. Really solid all around.
Hi, I'm Daisy.
Daisy Circuit might just be my favorite circuit track in the whole series. It's so good that you honestly forget it's a circuit track. In fact, it probably should have just been called Daisy Plaza or something, because it's nothing like the other circuits at all. It's a gorgeous stroll through this lovely town and beautiful pier, with this amazing orange sunset covering it all. This is one course I would kill to see in HD, because if it was part of the base roster of 8, it would have been one of the prettiest courses in the entire series. And the statues of Luigi and Daisy dancing is a beautiful touch, one that you can ruin with random Mii heads. Delightful. The layout of this course is fairly simple, but thankfully not too simple, making for a course I always enjoy picking to admire the scenery and knock a couple cones over.
So long, Bowser!
N64 Bowser's Castle is the only course to ever actively freak me out as a kid. Something about the eerie music, dark atmosphere, even those glowing green arrow signs that felt like they were pointing you towards your doom. It all came together for a hauntingly great course. Though I actually think the most terrifying element of all as a kid was this one thwomp locked in jail. What the fuck did he do? I don't know, but just imagining the horrific atrocities this hunk of rock must have committed for Bowser to imprison him just absolutely terrified me growing up. Aside from the spooky stuff, it's just a great twisted course to race on, and an absolutely perfect end to the Lightning Cup. I have no clue why Nintendo refuses to bring any Bowser's Castles back outside of this and the GBA ones, but at least we can always admire how delightfully terrifying this remake was.
Wow, they have it! Square!
DS Delfino Square is easily the most worthy out of the 4 priority courses. It may seem deceptively simple compared to some of the more ambitious and out-of-the-box DS courses, but then you play on it and realize just what a delight it is. The breezy music, the multiple paths and shortcuts, and the killer drawbridge at the end make this a fantastic one to revisit. It's just so charming and homey. Like, this is easily one of the Mario Kart courses I would most want to live in. An absolute joy from start to finish. Wario's Gold Mine. Talk about a difficulty spike. Who thought this was a good idea for the Flower Cup? Well, whoever they are, I honestly gotta give them props. This course always felt like an omen for how difficult Rainbow Road would be later on. In fact, I know a lot of casual fans of the franchise who specifically never wanted to play on Wario's Gold Mine or Rainbow Road, considering them equally difficult. I definitely wouldn't go that far, but yeah, this course can be a bit of a challenge for newcomers. Nowadays though, it's a blast. It feels like you're on a roller coaster ride, and its exhilarating nature coupled with the creative theme makes for a very memorable course I really enjoy. I don't really have a preference between this and the 8 version. They're both solid interpretations of a banger track.
And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
The Wii Bowser's Castle is up there as one of my favorites, with so much variety in its design. The twisty opener, the abundance of thwomps, the geysers you can trick off of at the end, the giant mechanical Bowser pelting you with fireballs, meaning if you want to use the center ramp, you gotta time it perfectly to not get hit. It's all an absolute blast. My favorite detail though has always been this billboard that has Boo and Drybones on it and says Showtime. No idea what the intention there was, but as a kid, I always assumed they just had a talk show together and they were doing some advertising at Bowser's place. That's probably what it was. Nintendo, if you ever bring this course back, do not remove the Showtime billboard or else I will riot. GameCube Waluigi Stadium is such a natural fit for this game's trick and half-pipe system that it's shocking to think it's a retro course. This is absolutely the Mario Kart game it feels like it was made for, with so many exhilarating tricks to perform and obstacles to dodge. Also, as kids, my brother and I thought this dirt was Waluigi poop. Yes, this is real. We genuinely thought that for some reason. But yeah, not much else to say, just a consistently fun course. And prior to 7 and 8, perhaps the best retro glow-up in the whole series mechanically. Moonview Highway is an absolute banger of a city course, one that I've been dying to see return for years now. It's pretty unlikely that we'll get this in 8 Deluxe, considering there's gonna be a lot of city courses in this DLC. But fine, whatever. At least I'll always have the memories. I do have one slight nitpick with this course, that being how odd it is that the hardest part with the tightest turns are at the beginning, and then the second half of the course is just way easier. I feel like it would have been better if you started the course at this toll booth right before the city, so then the hardest part would come last. fast, but whatever, it's a nitpick. The vibes in this course are immaculate, from the music to the sights and sounds to dodging all the traffic and trying to hit as many boost panels as you can. I always particularly loved how your Miis become toll booth operators. Plus the advertisements in the city are very cute. I like this one for something called the Mushroom Moon because the font they use is literally just the Pikmin font, and that makes me happy. Overall, an absolute banger. Please bring it back.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come!
Mushroom Gorge is a classic if I've ever seen one. A course so beloved and iconic that Nintendo can't stop themselves from bringing it back in every Mario Kart. It was a priority course that returned in 7, then Tour, and now 8 Deluxe. Layout wise, I think 8 Deluxe is where it's at its best with an optional glider shroom in addition to some retained shortcuts. But there are some things about the Wii version that just can't be topped. Like the look of the mushrooms. They just look so tantalizingly bouncy in this version, and only this version. Why do they look so flat in every other iteration of the course? The lack of a glider shroom in the final section also means that you have to master hopping between these shrooms, and it was pretty difficult to get the hang of as a kid, but that just made mastering this course all the more satisfying. An exhilarating delight of a course with killer music and an awesome bouncing concept that got incorporated into so many future Mario Kart courses. It honestly might be a bit too high concept for a Mushroom Cup course, but like, it's Mushroom Gorge. You're legally obligated to put it here, regardless of its concept or difficulty.
Boing.
GameCube DK Mountain is the best retro course in the game. Not really much of a shock, but what are you gonna do? This course is a blast. A barrel blast, that is. Because the barrel blasts you, not because this is anything like Donkey Kong Barrel Blast, because this game is actually good. Despite slightly being the weakest of the 3 barrel cannon courses in this game, this one has the best implementation of said cannon. There's nothing quite like landing on the peak of DK Mountain, then turning around, spotting the barrel cannon in the distance, and saying, holy shit, that's where I started the race from? It gives off such a delightful, adventurous, go-anywhere mentality. And the trek down the mountain is super engaging with tight turns and tons of boulders to avoid. It all culminates with that precarious bridge section that just feels so satisfyingly bumpy. Plus, it's a good place to pelt others with items. My favorite pastime on any jungle-themed DK course in this game. Truly a delight of a track. You'd think a certain other course we haven't gotten to yet would make this one feel redundant, but not at all. This is way more than a nice flavor change. It's an incredibly exciting and fun course in its own right, and definitely the best of Wii's retro offerings.
Oh yes, we work real hard at the
Toad.
factory.
It is genuinely insane to me that Toad's Factory has never been remade yet. I understand 7 not having room for it compared to other priority courses, but 8? Really? You thought Moo Moo Meadows and Grumble Volcano were more important to bring back than this one? On top of that, it hasn't even come back in Tour, meaning it's unlikely to get picked for the Booster Course Pass. This is a fucking banger that puts most other Mushroom Cup courses to shame. From the unique setting that's never really been done before in Mario Kart, to the countless conveyor belts you can make use of for a boost, to the insanely phenomenal music that easily stands as one of my favorite Mario Kart songs ever, it is a travesty that this course is currently trapped on just the Wii. What the fuck are you waiting for, Nintendo? Come on! Anyway, now we head to the S tiers. The 5 courses that are just insanely phenomenal and about as close to perfect as you can get. Let's start with
Welcome to the Himalayas!
DK Summit is the perfect evolution of DK Mountain. Just this consistently exciting thrill ride down a snowy peak. I'd argue that this course makes the best use of the game's half-pipe system, offering incredibly helpful boosts to anyone looking to pull off some sick-as-hell moves. There's also tons of terrain variety, with so many ramps, bumps, and snowboarding Shy Guys to dodge, all as the chipper music cheers you on. Very few courses are as exciting as this one, with its delightful extreme sports edge and thrilling descent down the summit. The only real issue I have is, why is there a giant statue of Mario on DK Summit? Who authorized that? Miraculously, Tour actually fixed that and replaced it with a statue of DK. So I hope that same statue makes its way into 8 Deluxe when this course arrives. Because you know it's going to if it's already in Tour. God, I hope this part doesn't age like milk.
It's called a road, it's called a rainbow road.
Wii Rainbow Road might just be the most infamous track in the whole series. Everybody's played Mario Kart Wii, which means everybody's been thoroughly acquainted with what is arguably the most difficult Rainbow Road to date. And that's why I love it. It pulls no punches with how sharp some of its turns are and how easy it is to fall off and plummet to Earth, dying in a fiery explosion before Lakitu goes all the way down to the planet and picks you up before bringing you all the way back to space. What are they paying this guy? Because it's not enough. But yeah, I adore Wii's Rainbow Road so much. Not only does its difficulty make for such a fun course to rage at with your friends, but the music and presentation are both simply magical. I often get chills as I get launched through the rainbow tunnel or hear the gorgeous sound effects as I perform some half-pipe tricks. It's just wonderful. The inclusion of star bits as a galaxy reference is also a great little touch that I'm glad they added. Overall, a masterful track that combines a tough but incredibly satisfying layout with an absolutely gorgeous presentation. Again, there's no way this isn't the very last track in the Booster Course Pass, so we'll see it again soon.
I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
Along with Mushroom Gorge, my top 3 consists of fan favorite courses that Nintendo just won't stop bringing back in everything. From being priority courses in 7, to getting added to Tour, to most likely being upcoming additions to Mario Kart 8. These are 3 courses where the hype is absolutely justified, and I can fully get behind them being in every Mario Kart ever. And the first of them is Koopa Cape. Driving alongside this rushing water is so satisfying, with the vibrant music complementing it perfectly. But the second half of the course really takes the cake. You go down a pipe and find yourself in this gorgeous glass tube that stretches underwater. The music even dynamically changes to match the new atmosphere down here, and I love it. It reminds me of one of those see-through aquariums that always mesmerized me as a kid, and it's no different here on this course. It's cozy, exciting, and just overall a magical track. One that doesn't look like it's gonna be too special at first, before absolutely mesmerizing you with its beauty. 7 kinda ruined the magic by opening it up and making it just like any other underwater segment though, sorry.
For half the summer I thought your name was Maple, like the syrup. No one corrected me.
I'm gonna be honest, I hated Maple Treeway as a kid because this one turn on the tree trunk was really hard and I could never do it. That means the course is bad. Then I grew up and I learned how to actually play Mario Kart and realized, whoa, the course is good. As someone who firmly believes that fall is the best and prettiest season of all time, I gotta give this course props for being one of the most aesthetically gorgeous tracks in Mario Kart history. Such a nice cozy theme coupled with incredibly strong track design and music make for an instant classic. I love the sharp turns, dodging the wigglers, finding items hidden in piles of leaves, pulling off this really cool shortcut right at the start, and bouncing on this net that tragically never made a return after gliders became the hip new thing. There's just so much to discover and enjoy with this one. It's one of the most alive feeling Mario Kart courses there is. Easily one of my favorites in the whole series. But it just barely comes short of the one, the only, the all-time GOAT. I just realized that GOAT stands for greatest of all time, so I didn't need to say all-time before GOAT, because now I just said all-time greatest of all time. But you know what? That's fine, because I just really need to emphasize how amazing this course is. Let's talk about it right now.
You just got Coconut Mall.
Coconut Mall is humanity's greatest achievement to date. This course absolutely blew my mind as a kid. Like, what? You can turn a shopping mall into a race course? That's insane! But they did it. A masterful concept that's beautifully realized here. There's nothing quite like desperately trying to figure out which escalator is the right one to take, or tricking off the fountain, or mushrooming your way through this open store shortcut, or seeing the words "Have a nice day" followed immediately by a death-defying jump into the parking lot below, where you then gotta dodge these Miis who might be some of the worst drivers on the entire planet. It's just incredible. Throughout my entire life, this course has always been my first choice whenever booting this game up because it's just magical. It captures the zany fun of Mario Kart perfectly through what is perhaps the most creative theme for a course in the series so far. There's tons of fun turns, trick opportunities, and different paths to take. Plus, it also helps that the Wii version still remains the best interpretation of this course to date, since 7 and 8 both took their turns neutering it a bit. As a result, the original still reigns supreme. Oh yeah, and this is my favorite music track in all of Mario Kart. Honestly, what else could it be? This course is beloved by myself and millions of other players worldwide. It's Coconut Mall, baby! Easily the best course in Mario Kart Wii. So, that's my list. Let me know in the comments which Mario Kart game you'd like me to rank the tracks for next. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go petition Nintendo to add Luigi Circuit to the Booster Course Pass, because it would be funny. Good night, Tri-State area.